He's brash. I don't know what's going on with those folks over there. He's over the top. That was the worst match I've ever seen, and frankly, I'm ashamed to have even watched it. He's passionate. I'm going to tell you how I feel about the sport that I love, and that's the end of that chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the rundown with your host, Duke Loves Rasslin. My, folks, I'll tell you, when I hear that guitar and I hear those drums, and that opening, you know that it's time to get down to business here. I am your host, Duke, and I love wrestling. Now, folks, don't go reaching out to Brother Love and telling him that I'm trying to steal his gimmick, because that is the furthest thing from the truth, okay? So, Brother Love, if you're listening, I am not in any way, shape, or form mimicking you by saying, I love you. There's none of that going on, man, so please don't beat me up. Folks, we have an exciting show this evening. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw, which just wrapped up about 2 minutes ago. So we're going to talk about what happened on the show and how that affects everything. Then we'll transition over to the United Kingdom. We'll be talking about the wonderful wrestling going on out there. And we'll wrap up the show discussing some folks who have been on injured reserve in the WWE who are finally making their way back, which will be exciting. Really can't wait for that. So, packed show this evening. You know, before we get into any of that, folks, I do want to give a special shout out to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Now, as you know, it's the 15th annual induction ceremony taking place May 19th through the 21st. So that's this weekend. Folks who are being inducted include Mean Gene Okerlund, Greg the Hammer Valentine, the Blackjacks, that's Blackjack Mulligan and Blackjack Lanza, and the legendary Leilani Kai. You can head over to www.pwhf.org for further information, tickets, and where the Hall of Fame is, all that good stuff. Continue to support our wrestling veterans, folks. That's what we're here to do. We love them. So www.pwhf.org. That's the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. This upcoming weekend induction ceremony. Folks, as you know, the Duke loves. Duke loves wrestling. Duke loves food. And when I'm in the New York City area, Duke loves Barnyard Cheese. At Barnyard Cheese, I can get the best artisanal cheeses, soups, and award-winning sandwiches at an affordable price. Visit www.barnyardcheese.com. That's www.barnyardcheese.com for further information. Barnyard Cheese is located at 149 Avenue C, between 9th and 10th Street. Barnyard Cheese is the official cheese and sandwich shop for Duke Loves Rasslin. Enjoy. It's Raw Recap time, folks. And let me tell you what a show it was tonight. I am so wound up. I can't even contain myself. There's so much that I want to say. I'm going to try to hold on here, but I'm telling you right now, there are some things that I am truly upset with. Like, we can start off first and foremost. I'm going to jump around here. I'm not going to go in order. I'm not going to go over every match on Raw. There were some not so good matches, but for the most part, it was a solid Raw this week. They've been building up some great momentum leading into Extreme Rules, which is this upcoming Sunday live on the WWE Network. It's the latest pay-per-view. But I'm going to get into the things that I want to talk about specifically, okay? Specifically. First and foremost, let me tell you something right now. I am sick and tired of the way that WWE is treating AJ Styles. All right? The way that AJ Styles and Bullet Club, or as they call them, the club now, the way that they are being treated like second-class citizens in favor of Roman Reigns and his cousins, the Usos, is just downright criminal. Okay, let me get something straight here. The Club and AJ Styles are world-class professional wrestlers. They have traveled all over the world. They've won titles. I mean, come on, they're coming from Japan right now. And you have the audacity, WWE, to sit here and continue to job them out, continue to make them look weak in order to, as Vince McMahon loves to say, make Roman strong, damn it. Well, let me tell you something, Vince McMahon, and let me tell you something, everybody else in the WWE. Roman Reigns is an overrated jerk. Okay? Yeah, I said it. I'm not taking it back because that's how I feel. Now look, the real guy Joe, whatever his name is, he might be a nice guy, but Roman Reigns, the WWE wrestler, he is just terrible. Okay? The man is overrated. He can't wrestle a lick. He goes in there and he has that little smug look on his face. I swear I wish AJ Styles would give him a bicycle kick to the jaw and knock that smug look off his face. And then you got the Usos. These guys, oh my God. I mean, come on. They couldn't even shine the Club's shoes, and they're out there acting like they're some big shots just because they're in a main event title picture with their cousin over here fighting a big group. Well, let me tell you something, Usos. Go back to Total Divas, okay? It was nice when you were okay a couple years ago, but you guys are past your prime. We don't need you anymore. We have tag teams like the New Day. We have tag teams like the Club. Get out of my face, Usos. Go back to Total Divas. Because that's what you are, a couple of total divas. My goodness, this Roman Reigns. So tonight, folks, on Monday Night Raw, they had the audacity to let Roman Reigns beat up not only both members of the Club, but also knock out AJ Styles for a moment there, okay? Now, in the end, AJ ends up wailing on him with the steel chair, and he even gave him a Styles clash, which was just perfect. I hope and I pray, and I'm telling you right now, for the great wrestling gods above, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, Blackjack Mulligan, Andre the Giant, if any of you are up there and you're paying attention, please do whatever you can to have AJ Styles come out victorious this upcoming weekend, knock this Roman Reigns out of the park, because I'm sick of this guy. Okay? We need to do something about this guy. He is ruining the product. Roman Reigns is the worst thing to happen to professional wrestling since Roman Reigns. Okay? That's pretty bad. Okay. You got that right. Now, let's move on for a second here, because I got something else that I need to get off my chest. I'm very serious about this. Okay? During the contract signing for the Women's Heavyweight Championship, it was Charlotte and it was Natty. Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon were in the ring. Stephanie McMahon was running her mouth and carrying on because Nature Boy Ric Flair was in the ring as well, and she was giving him a whole lot of unnecessary attitude. Okay? Let me tell you something, Stephanie McMahon. I don't care who you are. Nature Boy Ric Flair is an institution in the sport of professional wrestling. He's the greatest of all time. And for you to not only give him such a hard time, then she had the audacity. Folks, you're not going to believe this one. You're not going to believe this one. She had the audacity to slap the Nature Boy Ric Flair in the face. Do you know who Ric Flair is? Do you understand that he is the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion? Do you understand that he's Space Mountain, okay? The oldest rider in the park, but has the longest line? And you had the audacity to put your hands on him, Stephanie McMahon? Oh, folks, we can't have this. This is a travesty. I'm telling you, I'm not sure what's been going on with Stephanie McMahon where she thinks that she can haul off and put her hands on a 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time Hall of Famer. But she has another thing coming if she believes that we're just going to sit back and allow this to happen. Okay, Charlotte almost charged her, but of course Natty had to step in and tackle Charlotte before she can get to her. And then she puts Charlotte in the sharpshooter, which was just ridiculous, by the way, Natty. That was a sneak attack. I thought you were an honorable person, but clearly you were not. Okay, you're a cheater, just like your Uncle Brett. So I don't even have time for you. Stephanie McMahon, this isn't over. Shane McMahon, this is on your hands. You couldn't control your sister. You allowed her to put her hands on the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And hey, if something comes of you now, if the Four Horsemen reform and come after you, buddy, just remember, you brought that upon yourself. Ridiculous. You put your hands on the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion. Are you kidding me? Oh, folks, I can't tell you, I was beside myself watching Raw this evening. Those two incidents alone really put me over the edge, okay? Now, there were some cool things going on. We had Cesaro. We had Sami Zayn, The Miz. We had Kevin Owens, and, their feud, the four of them together. They're going to be going out against each other at Extreme Rules for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. It's probably going to steal the show, that match, and unsurprising. These guys are great. I'll say this, though. Out of the four of them, The Miz is really carrying the team. Miz is a future Hall of Famer. He's probably one of the greatest of all time in his own right. And Kevin Owens, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn, they really need to take a step back and watch The Miz and take notes, because he's everything. And they're just a bunch of rookies for the most part. They're new to the WWE compared to The Miz, who's been around a while. Former World Heavyweight Champion. He's headlined WrestleMania. He's won every title in the company other than the women's title. I mean, come on. Okay? You guys take notes. I expect The Miz, who is very awesome, by the way, I expect him to come out victorious at Extreme Rules, because that's just the way it is. And shout out to Maurice. She is the director. She's fantastic. Yes. There are a couple other things that happened on Raw as well. It was great to see Alberto Del Rio. He beat the hell out of Kalisto, which is always a fantastic thing to see. Rusev beat up on that Sin Cara. He's terrible anyway. So that was cool. We also finally got a chance to see the Colon brothers, or as they call themselves, the Shining Stars. They seem like a pretty decent tag team. They just have to work on their finishing move, which is an updated version of Total Elimination, move that Perry Saturn and John Cronus used to do as part of the Eliminators back in ECW. So I'm sure we'll see more of the Shining Stars, but so far, not so bad. We had Dean Ambrose come out and give a promo that made absolutely no sense. Dean Ambrose, he must have been hanging around with Roman Reigns too long. Dean Ambrose never makes any sense when he picks up the microphone. No one knows what the hell he's saying. The crowd barely reacts to him when he speaks. They like him when he comes out. They like his music. They like when he's fighting with somebody. But as soon as this guy starts talking, they don't know what the hell he's talking about. Dean Ambrose, do yourself a favor. Take some promo classes, okay? You could learn from the guy that you're going up against by the name of Chris Jericho, okay? Chris Jericho, the first undisputed World Heavyweight Champion in history, by the way. He's the man. Top heel in the company, knows what he's doing on the mic, and he makes you look ridiculous. So those two had a confrontation with each other, and they were talking, and Dean Ambrose, he got the go-ahead to name his match at Extreme Rules, which is going to be some kind of asylum cage match, something or other. Who knows? He's so incoherent. I don't even know what the hell he's saying half the time. What matters most, though, is Chris Jericho is going to beat the hell out of him at the pay-per-view, because that's what Chris Jericho does. He's the Ayatollah of rock and roller, and that's the end of that chapter. Dean Ambrose, he's just an overrated bum. But, we'll see at the pay-per-view. I'm sure we won't be disappointed. Dana Brooke, she beat up on Becky Lynch. Okay. Hey, listen, tip for Dana Brooke. Instead of coming out and doing all this flipping to the ring nonsense that you cartwheeling, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Just walk to the ring, please. No one wants to see you doing cartwheels and all that stuff, jumping around or whatever. Just walk to the ring. Becky was unfortunate she lost that match. You turn into a glorified jobber, by the way. That's a fact. Tyler Breeze and Fandango, they beat the Golden Truth. No surprises there. New Day, they got beat up by the Vaudevillains. Okay. I expect the New Day to go over on the Vaudevillains at the pay-per-view, so they'll get their revenge. Big Cass, boring. He beat up on Devon Dudley. Big Cass. You know, this guy is nothing without Enzo, by the way. Nothing without Enzo. He calls himself 7 feet tall, where he's barely 6'9". Whatever. And that's really been about it. I mean, folks, it was an interesting Raw, as I told you before, but I'm really upset about the way that AJ Styles and the club have been treated, okay, in favor of this ridiculous Roman Reigns and the Usos, or as I should say, the Lusos, because that's it, they're losers, please. And then for Stephanie McMahon to put her hands on 16-time World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair, I'll tell you, folks, I might have a heart attack here. It's just awful. Awful, awful, awful. Okay? Somebody better call the Better Business Bureau. We may have to call the police on Stephanie McMahon. She's insulting her employees. She's assaulting the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. These things are unacceptable. And we're all witnesses because we saw it live on TV. Okay. We'll figure out what to do about that, folks. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You know, folks, we are gaining a lot of steam here with this fantastic podcast. And I really want to thank you all for your feedback. If you head over to youtube.com, just type in Duke Loves Rasslin and you can check out all of our previous episodes there. Now, folks have found me online in other areas, including Twitter. I'm at D Loves Rasslin over at Twitter. I'm at Duke Loves Rasslin on Facebook. And on medium.com, which is a blogging website, just type in Duke Loves Rasslin and you can find me there as well. But we've been getting a lot of great feedback from fans from all over the world. I mean, from the United States to Canada, from China to various parts of Africa. It is clear that whether you agree with what I have to say about pro wrestling or whether you disagree, you want to hear me say it. So I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep writing about it. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to have some interviews with some great folks, so stay tuned. But most importantly, continue to send in your questions and your comments. Share our information on your social media accounts. Let's really spread the word. Duke Loves Rasslin, and let's spread the word that we want to keep our sport alive and thriving by continuing to support it.
Yay!
Folks, we have had an interesting time in the sport of professional wrestling, especially in the World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. They've been hit with a significant injury bug. I mean, my goodness, John Cena, who's the workhorse of the company, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. These are just a few of the big names that have been out, on the shelf for a number of weeks. So, it's been really tough, especially considering that most of these guys were out right before WrestleMania. So the fact that the company was able to get over that hump and is still going strong is a testament to how fantastic that the writers, the producers, Vince McMahon and the entire McMahon family, including Triple H, they really do a great job over there. We may not agree with everything that they do, but in the end, for them to continue to deliver a quality product despite the fact that they've had so many significant injuries, that's pretty neat, Now, the folks who are going to be coming back in the upcoming weeks, like literally in the next month or so, first and foremost, Randy Orton. Now, you talk about a guy who is considered pound for pound one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world. Every single thing that Randy Orton does in the ring, from the look in his eyes to the way he turns his head, every move, every punch, every kick, every RKO, it all looks so crisp. It all looks real. It's fantastic. I love watching Randy Orton do his thing, especially when he's a heel. So the company's really missed his work and can't wait to see him come back and see who he's going to mix it up with out there, especially on the current roster. I mean, can you imagine a match between Randy Orton and Cesaro right now? Oh, my goodness. Okay? You talk about a Pier 6 brawl. A Pier 6 brawl. Damn it. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for a dream match like that and many others, So Randy Orton, we can't wait to see you come back. That should be exciting. Bray Wyatt, who's been, he just keeps starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And it's unfortunate because here's a guy that has a tremendous gimmick. He has talent through the roof, but every single time he gains a little bit of momentum, something goes wrong. And that's really unfortunate for Bray because, we really believe in Bray. We think he's fantastic. He's supposed to be coming back from his latest injury. So hopefully we can get him in some kind of incident with another group so he can shine with his guys, the Wyatt family. Hey, with Bullet Club, or the Club as they're calling them now, forming in the WWE, this could be great. This could be beneficial for both sides to have a long-going feud and see where it goes. So look forward to Bray coming back. Seth Rollins. Jeez. Here's a guy who had the best year ever last year, and he's been injured ever since, which is unfortunate. It's been really tough for him. Former WWE champion. Really can't wait to see Seth Rollins come back because he's such a great in-ring technician, and he does a lot of the high-flying stuff on top of that. Seth Rollins going up against somebody like John Cena, we've seen before. But what we haven't seen is Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. What we haven't seen is Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Come on. I mean, you talk about some grade A talented wrestlers who can put on a great show. Boy, I can't wait to see Seth Rollins go up against some of these folks. So that'll be fun when Seth Rollins comes back. There is also the possibility he'll be paired back with his brethren from the Shield, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So, hey, Shield reforming and taking on the Club, a.k.a. Bullet Club. I'd pay to see that. So who knows what's going to happen there, but we can't wait. But, the person that everyone is salivating to see come back, John Cena, the workhorse of the company, the franchise, whatever you want to call him, John Cena will finally be back in a WWE ring wrestling. And folks, there's been speculation that one of his first feuds is going to be with Shinsuke Nakamura. Maybe that we're just hoping, we're just crossing our fingers on that. But if that were to happen, money in the bank. And I'm not talking about the pay-per-view. I'm talking about cha-ching, okay? WWE can make a ton of dough with the John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura feud, in addition to AJ Styles and John Cena. But let me tell you something. John Cena, who represents everything that's WWE, going up against, pound for pound, the greatest wrestler in the universe, Shinsuke Nakamura. Oh, my goodness. He'll sell out arenas all over the planet with a matchup like that, okay? You don't have to turn Cena in order to put him in a program with Nakamura. Some folks are going to love Nakamura. Some folks are going to hate Nakamura, so that's okay. They can trade wins back and forth. They can beat the living hell out of each other. It'll just be a great time, So it's really fantastic to see the WWE right now because they absolutely have the best talent in the universe. Anyone who's anyone is in the WWE right now. And that's not a knock against folks who are currently on the outside looking in. Jay Lethal, Ricochet, Okada, folks like that. Don't take it the wrong way, Kenny Omega. But seriously, WWE overall has more talent than any other wrestling promotion on the planet. Not even close. No one else can compare. So we have all these dream matches that can happen as long as folks stay from getting injured. And I know that's difficult to do, but, the injuries have really been killing us here. Nonetheless, I expect from now leading up to SummerSlam and beyond, we're going to get some of the best wrestling matches that we have seen probably ever. So, folks, hold on to your seats because it's going to be something fantastic going on in our great, illustrious sport that we love. So, once again, those are the folks who are going to be coming back, and we'll see what happens from there. We'll be back after this brief timeout.
Yay!
And that does it for our show this evening, folks. I want to give a special shout out to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Once again, this upcoming weekend, we're talking the 19th to the 21st, and we'll be doing the 15th annual Hall of Fame ceremony. I also want to give a special shout out to WWE. Hey, you're one of the main reasons why we do this show, so thank you for providing us with great things to talk about. Our friends down in the UK, keep up the great work. Some great wrestling going on out there. We appreciate you. And folks, if you have any questions or you want to give your comments Once again, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Medium, and YouTube at Duke Loves Rasslin. That's Duke Loves Rasslin. RASSLIN. Folks, as always, we are here to help others. So, in addition to being good to yourself, be kind to someone else as well. This is the Duke signing off, saying we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.